The gentleman from New York, Mr. Meeks, is recognized for 2 minutes.
I thank the chairman. I thank the chairman for his work. I thank the ranking member. Let me start off by thanking Mr. Levin also, because indeed I know he's been back and forth to Colombia, and he's made this a better trade bill with the action plan. And it's your hard work and dedication, Mr. Levin, and I thank you for doing that. Yesterday I had a chance to talk briefly on the floor in regards to the economics of it. And I'm hearing about a lot of people talk about the past of Colombia, but not some of the things that's taking place on the ground right now. And I've heard a lot of individuals talk about how it may be devastating in reference specifically to the African Colombian community. But let me bring some facts to the issue, because I think oftentimes when I looked and talked to President Santos and the civil rights struggle right here in America, I see some similarities that we got to think about, because there's some positive things, a lot of positive things that happen on the floor. For example, for the first time, we have the Victims of Land Restitution Law in Colombia that was passed by the government of Colombia. We have the presidential program on African Colombians. We have the development projects. We have the mining and prior consultations law. We have addressing discrimination, an anti-discrimination law that has been passed. We have the African Colombian and Indigenous program that has been passed by the Colombian legislature. We have the Afro-Colombian Leadership and Scholarship program. We have the Martin Luther King Scholarship program. We have the Equal Employment Opportunities Initiative. All of this is done by the Santos government. We have the Pathways to Prosperity, Women and Entrepreneurs Mentoring Network. We have scholarship for African Colombian police. We have the Emergency Humanitarian Assistance Program. These are just some of the programs that is happening on the ground right now that are benefiting African Colombians. And when you talk about the leadership there, because I get letters back and forth, there's a diverse leadership in Colombia, just as a diverse leadership here in America. And just as the goal is to make sure that we enact certain things into laws so that we can make changes to make it better for people for tomorrow. That is what President Santos has been doing. That's what has happened, and that's what is happening. And so I say, well, some say, well, they struggle and say Santos is not going to carry out. In my estimation, when Lyndon Baines Johnson became president, some of the
yield the gentleman an additional 30 seconds.
Do anything. But
the gentleman from New York is recognized for an additional 30 seconds.
Thank you. But he did. He came with some of the most landmark legislation with reference to civil rights and voting rights in the history of this country. The same thing I see happening right now on the ground with President Santos. Landmark, for the first time ever, legislation addressing the rights of African Colombians, and because of the work of Mr. Levin, also landmark rights addressing the rights of all in labor. And I think that it's a positive thing, and we should pass this Colombia Free Trade Agreement, because the right thing is we're moving in the right direction. We're not there yet, but we're moving in the right direction, and I yield back. Thank you.
Time of the gentleman.